Okay, in this video we're going to talk about two different theorems relating to geometry. A theorem is something that has been tested and proven to be true. We're going to talk about the triangle sum theorem and the exterior angle sum theorem. Both relate to triangles, so let's review types of triangles first. An acute triangle means all interior angles are less than 90 degrees. An obtuse triangle means one of the interior angles is greater than 90 degrees. A right triangle means that one interior angle is 90 degrees. Okay? And we have scalene triangles. All three sides have different lengths. Isosceles triangles, where two sides of the triangle are the same, and then equilateral triangles. All sides are the same. These 6 definitions you should have heard before in your life somewhere. This last one should be new. Remote interior angles are two adjacent interior angles that are on opposite sides, opposite of an exterior angle. Now we're going to talk more about what that means in just a minute, but make sure you have all these definitions. So here's two theorems that you need to know. Here's what they say. The triangle sum theorem simply states that all interior angles add up to 180. So if we have a triangle with angles A, B, C, angle A plus angle B plus angle C add to equal 180. Doesn't matter what type of triangle it is or what it looks like, they're going to add up to equal 180, because if it's got 3 sides and we call it a triangle, the interior angles add to equal 180. Then there's the exterior angle theorem. It states that the measure of the exterior angle is the sum of the two remote interior angles. So here's our triangle. Keeping in mind, interior angles means it's on the inside. Exterior means it's on the outside. Every angle has an exterior angle, but in this triangle, we're looking at this one. So here's our exterior angle, number 1, and then here's our 2 remote interior angles, like I talked about on the front side. So these 2 over here are remote interior angles. So what this theorem is stating is that this one exterior angle, or anywhere it is going to be the same as if we added the 2 remote interior angles. So we can say that angle 1 is equal to angle 2 plus angle 3. Okay, so let's work some examples using the triangle sum theorem. So here we have, this is a right triangle. Notice we have a right angle in it. This over here is what we call the hypotenuse, just to refresh your memories. Alright, so we have a right triangle. We have one 90-degree angle, we have a 20-degree angle, we need to find x. So to find it, we would say 90 plus 20 plus x equals 180. Just like in my examples, I said a plus c plus b. Here's my 3 things. So if I combine my like terms here, 110 plus x, now I just have to solve this equation. Subtract 110. I learned that x equals 70 degrees. So if we went and filled this back in, this is going to be 70. Which makes sense, because if one of them is 90, that means the other 2 angles have to add up to equal 90. 70 and 20 do. So now let's look at number 2. Well, I told you we're looking for this x, but then I only gave you one angle. Well, here's why. This is an isosceles triangle. Remember, isosceles has 2 sides that are the same. These hash marks mean that the sides are the same. Well, also in isosceles triangle, if 2 sides are the same, 2 angles are the same. So if this is 50 and it's an isosceles triangle, we know that this is 50. So to find x, we now have enough information. We're going to add 50 plus 50 plus x, and it's still going to equal 180. 50 and 50 is 100. Subtract that from both sides. We find that x equals 80. Okay? So now let's look at this one. Now we have an example in obtuse triangle, because we have this very large 120-degree angle in there that makes it obtuse. But it still equals 180 when you add it up. So we would add 120 plus 40, whoop, I forgot my plus sign, plus x equals 180. Combine like terms. And subtract. So x in this case equals 20. Okay, so this is an example of how we can use the triangle sum theorem. Now we can place these triangles in other places and still apply this and what our other knowledge that we know. This is the basic use of the triangle sum theorem. Okay, so let's talk about the exterior angle theorem in a little more depth. Here I have the same drawing as before. I have my triangle and I've extended one of my exterior angles. 3 is an exterior angle. It's exterior because it's on the outside. 1 and 2 are remote interior angles to angle 3. See, here's 3. These are over here. They are the non-adjacent interior angles. Therefore, angle 1 plus angle 2 equals angle 3. This angle plus this angle equals this angle. So let's put this to work. Okay. This one's very simple. Here's my exterior. Here's my 2, what we call remote interior. So if we want to find x is equal to this plus this. So x equals 45 plus 60. So in this case, x equals 105 degrees. So this angle is 105 degrees. Now, if we know this angle, we can find this one on the inside. Why? This x and this part here are supplementary, which means they equal 180. So if I took 180 and I subtracted out, well, that's an 8, 105, I'm going to get 75. So that means that this, the remaining interior angle, is 75. And we can go back and check that. 60 plus 45 plus 75 equals 180. All right, so look at this one. We have 2 variables to find. We need to find x and y. But usually we're working for this one out here. We already have this one out here, so we're going to apply the same thing we just did here to get this. If the exterior is 80, what's the interior? And no, this is not drawn to scale. Remember that this is going to be supplementary, so we would say 80 plus y equals 180. Tells us that y is going to equal 100, because we would subtract 80 from both sides. So now we know that this is 80. So how do we find x? Well, one of 2 ways. We can say x is equal to this, or we can go back and use the triangle sum theorem. Well, let's do it this way though. We know that 80, which is our exterior angle, is equal to our 2 remote interior. This should be 100, sorry. Should be equal to our 2 interior angles, remote interior angles. So it's going to equal x plus 30. So I took my exterior angle and set it equal to my 2 remote interior angles. So now if I subtract 30 from both sides, I find that x equals 50. Does this make sense? Well, if I add up my 3 interior angles, I have 100 plus 30 plus 50. That equals 180. So yes, it does work. So those are some applications of the exterior angle sum theorem. The triangle sum theorem and the exterior angle theorem are 2 geometric theorems that we use quite a bit. So it'll do you well to learn how to use them backwards and forwards.